All right. Let's go to your, in their first contention in subpoint A, they said that restricting same-sex couples will devalue them as individuals. First off, I'd like to say the individuals are not being devalued. In California, in the state of California, same-sex couples are granted the ability to have a civil union. Quote here saying, civil unions provide the same governmental rights that marriage offers, by Barack Obama, the President of the United States, December 8, 2012. We've got to make sure that everybody is equal under the law, and the civil unions that I propose would be equivalent in terms of making sure that all the rights that are conferred by the states are equal for the same-sex couples as well as for the heterosexual couples. Now, with respect to marriage, it's my belief that it's up to the individual denominations to make a decision as to whether they want to recognize marriage or not. But in terms of, the rights of people to transfer property, to have hospital visitations, all those critical rights that are conferred by our government, those should be equal. Basically, how can you argue that an individual is being devalued when they have all the same rights heterosexual partners have? In contention 1 subpoint B, they said devaluing same-sex partners weakens their ties to society. There's no guarantee that marriage brings family ties or even a lasting relationship. You can't discredit a civil union just because it fails to provide the religious connotations of marriage. This is not significant enough to change the status quo. And I have a quote saying, the problematic term of marriage is defined by religious traditions considered as a sacred institution. By Jacob Sullum, senior editor of Reason Magazine, columnist for the New York Post, May 10, 2012, December 5, 2012. For Obama, then, a civil union was the same as a civil marriage. But for the name, as he recognized, the name really does matter to some opponents. Mainly because they conflate civil marriage, the legal arrangement recognized by the state, with the sacred institution of marriage, as Mitt Romney, among others, puts it, which is defined by religious traditions that date back a lot further than marriage license. So you basically can't say that social approval can be solved solely through marriage. This statement is insignificant, and the legal advantages already exist in the state of California. All right. Wait. You also said that hate crimes get committed against gay and lesbians from rejection from society in subpoint C. The chain of reasoning has already been broken when I said that gay couples are not treated unequally per the California legal system. The state government has already given them all they can have. In subpoint D, you said hate crimes lead to suicide. We agree that taunting and bullying is unacceptable, but the enactment of a marriage institution does not equal a change of perception for any demographic, including homosexuals. I have a card here saying that despite same-sex marriage's legality in Argentina, prejudice and insult still exist. Annie Zodi, culture and politics activist at Georgetown University, December 5, 2012. Argentina is a country of intense political and social dichotomy. Same-sex marriage has been legal for 18 months and gay tango bars around. But maricon, a derogatory term for homosexuals, is still a frequent and debilitating insult used by much of the population. In subpoint E, you said gay and lesbians are vulnerable to suicide. You also took that from the Canadian Journal of Psychology. In Canada, same-sex marriage is legal already. So there's no relation to marriage and between suicide, and it's not significant enough to change the status quo in that sense. Going to contention 2 in subpoint A, you said partnership and unity better society. Well, California already promotes this through civil unions. I have a quote here saying that the state is responsible for the contract between individuals that promote living in peace and harmony, by Frank K. Flynn, Ph.D., adjunct professor of religious studies and arts and sciences, December 7, 2012. The state's primary interest is in how people live together in peace and harmony. Provided that the contract between individuals conform to general law, the state has no other interest than in maintaining the terms of the contract. People can form corporations, cooperatives, or collectives, joint living arrangements, or any other kind of social grouping. What they need from the civil authorities is a license that commits them to the terms of the contract. If some people then want to get married in the religious sense, they are free to do so extra-legally, according to their particular religious tradition's definition of marriage. So, with that said, going back to what I already said, civil marriage is not a religious marriage. The civil laws in the state of California can be viewed as equally beneficial as civil marriage laws in Canada. I'm trying to think. Subpoint C, you said same-sex marriage had positive effects in Canada, but they failed to recognize that they enforced same-sex marriage. That's what I was getting at. I have a quote here saying, what was it, this quote? Yeah, civil unions offer the same benefits of marriage within the state. By Curtis Hubbard, Interior West journalist on political theory for the Denver Post, December 4th, 2012. But civil unions only grant same-sex partners the same rights as married couples under state law. And that's a key distinction. Couples in the civil union would see the same benefits as married couples as far as state taxes, healthcare decision-making, guardianship, and parenting rights. But those rights are not portable, meaning they are not recognized in all states. Going to your final subpoint, we're trying to distinguish civil marriages and religious marriages. Basically, the religious house, there's a quote saying, the religious houses that disagree with same-sex unions are not required to perform this, by Paul Martin, Canadian Prime Minister, February 5th, 2005, December 5th, 2012. As it pertains to marriage, the government's legislation affirms charter guarantee that religious officials are free to perform such ceremonies in accordance with the beliefs of their faith. In this, we are guided by the ruling of the Supreme Court in Canada, which makes clear that in no church, no synagogue, no mosque, no temple, and no religious house will those who disagree with same-sex unions be compelled to perform them. Period. That is why legislation is about civil marriage, not religious marriage. There's little to no impact for this push, so there's no significance to change the status quo. Stand open for cross-examination.
Okay, when you were responding to contention 1, subpoint A, or contention 1, subpoint B, you said that in a civil marriage, that the people in a civil marriage would receive all the same benefits as in a heterosexual marriage?
Yes. Yes.
You believe that every single right that
Yeah.
that you receive in a heterosexual marriage, homosexuals receive in a civil?
Well, like legally, yeah. I don't know about like religious rights, what you get in church and stuff, but like in a legal sense, in the state of California, yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay. Can you repeat the evidence you read for subpoint C or D?
Subpoint C. Was it the hate crimes? I think it was D.
Yeah, D.
You said hate crimes lead to suicide, and I basically said despite same-sex marriage's legality in Argentina, prejudice and insults still exist. Is that what you're asking for? Yeah, basically it's just summing up that regardless of whether or not same-sex marriage is legalized, the hate crimes might still be that there's no guarantee that a marriage institution is going to prevent hate crimes from happening. Like it's not a switch you can flip just by allowing marriage.
Does it say that it's specific to homosexual hate crimes?
Yeah, it says like the term maricon, a derogatory term for homosexuals, is still frequent. A debilitating insult.